Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another Age of Empires 3 series for you today. This is the EPL number 2 and it's week 2 between the CMCs and the Hudson Bay Bigs. We have Sam Rise representing Hudson Bay. Oh no, I didn't press scrap that for this game. Oh well, start that again. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Harrison. We are back for another Age of Empires 3 series for you today. This is part of the ESOC Premier League number 2. Week number 2 between the CMCs and the Hudson Bay Bigs. Game 1 has been played on the High Plains, and we have Le Castet spawning into the northeast of the map, playing as the French civilization. His opponents, Samwise, spawning into the southwest of the map, playing as the Spanish. We do see a single food crate start appears, one house being thrown down by Samwise, but no other coin crates or wood crates remaining. Le Castet, playing as the French, deciding to go for a market, drop down the market, and it looks like he's going to be selling a batch of food, buying a batch of wood from the market, and so has enough wood for the hunting dogs. A couple of more wood gatherers to try and get the wood needed for a house, but should be all good afterwards. Out on the map, we do see Samwise passing a trapped Courrier des Bois from 3 Grizzlies. Maybe a bit difficult to take on early in the game, but if you get it nice and early, would really help your eco, but also provides an extra villager nearby the trading route, which you can use to capture the trading route yourself in transition to the next age. Treasure contention, 60 food going to the French civilization. We do see Le Castet's play of the market early in Age 1. Lots of wood and coin was mined and chopped though, so that food should be able to speed up that age up in time and try and minimise the amount of idle time that the French colony will have. There's very little chance that Le Castet will age up with 13 villas here and will likely queue up a 14th very soon. Samwise picking up the French explorer, forcing Lasana Diala back towards the... That sounds Spanish, that's not French. But still pushing the Castet's Explorer back towards the town centre. And this is a big play, actually, because you want to try and pick off your French Explorer if you're playing as a Civ who wants to go for an ATP play or go for full stagecoach control, because these Explorers are very good at building trading posts. Build them probably 3 times as fast as other villagers will be doing. And so trying to pick off this Explorer, very critical. Samwise picking up a nice food treasure here, 110 food. But it's interesting to see which way Le Castet's Explorer is going, because he wants to try and build a trading post where he's not going to get beaten down by the Spanish Explorer and War Dog and try and disrupt what Samwise wants to do. We even see Samwise 0 shipments in at the moment, so he should be sending another shipment at this point. Judging by his deck, that can only be the advanced trading post at this point in time, and we should be seeing advanced trading posts come in. Having all vills onto wood gathering up now, probably need to get rid of the other 2 vills on the herding duties because you've got so much food from that sunflower treasure. And first trading post being thrown down by Samwise, sending 1 vill out, but this is so late from Samwise. He should be having at least 2 vills on his trading line already to try and ensure that you've got maximum control. Le Castet, if he's really smart and sneaky enough, he may be able to steal a second one for himself. We don't see another CDB from the French colony moving forward to try and capture their own trading post, but now that the French explorer has now completed his TP, he's going to go out and push. And I would like Le Castet to try to go for a second, because if the Spanish get a 4-1 trading post advantage, they're just going to chuck in that stagecoach upgrade straight away. But if you manage to get 2 trading posts, then it kind of puts the pressure on the Spanish player to take down your TP first with aggression before going for that stagecoach play, and that just slows down the Spanish eco and momentum so much. And you can see he's now moving towards this trading post, dropping down a trading post himself on that 400 wood age up, so making good use of the age up crates he has gotten. The age up is just coming through there. 3 CDBs frantically gathering that wood, and this could be another villager from the Spanish Civ throwing down another TP, and I think this is sloppy play from Samwise, I really do. you see that Samwise is going to come across and be a bit upset that he's come across the French explorer now, thinking, "Oh, hey, mate, this is my trading post. Get off this." But the French player taking a 2-3 trading post deficit versus the Spanish player, but that's just given Lecastet. I think this is buying Lecastet all the time he needs to go for a full CDB, 700 coin, straight fast fortress here. And we do see, because he went for that trading post, there's no military building down. He dropped down another 2 houses with it, which you don't need to drop that second house, and that could have been wood saved earlier from that chopping in transition for getting steel traps and place mines off that 400 wood. So maybe chop the 100 for a house, and then once that 400 wood comes in, place mine, steel trap, and a trading post. Nice scout position here from Lecastet underneath the outpost of the Spanish player. Should be able to see anything coming from the Spanish player. And Samwise is a good player. He's certainly very top tier. And if you're going to be sending any military shipments at this point, you'd most likely send them from this forward outpost. But there's a scout here from Lecastet. He will see any 8 pikeman shipments, any rods, anything strange. And so we'll have to see what's... so Lecastet can scout what Samwise is doing. Now that he hasn't seen anything come out from outposts yet from Samwise, I think even Lecastet has decided that Samwise is going for a 700 coin, 700 wood, standard Spanish fast fortress with that advanced trading post as a pivot card. Slightly delayed, slightly slower than it would be, but with all this trading post down, just provides so much momentum. Even getting a Cheyenne native TP as well. Probably because he had chopped enough wood for it, and you might as well if you've got the wood spare. Could, given though that's tactical 12 bison shipments once he starts running out of in-base hunts, but he has plenty of hunts nearby to move out to or to herd back towards his town centre. Lecastet actually going for 700 wood as his next shipment instead of 700 coin, and when you've got no pressure in your base and you're not in that much of a hurry to get up to the 3rd age, as fast as possible, that 700 wood is actually a very smart decision for Lecastet. And probably why he's up to that Brigadier rank, because I would have assumed 700 coin just probably that safer card, but actually the fact that you have always vills on the mine, you have a coin gathering upgrade, you have a food gathering upgrade, that wood crate is so much more efficient than the 700 coin. You do go through your in-base coin mines a little bit faster, but we do see 2 coin mines on the north side for Lecastet, 1 on the east, and similar story for Samwise, 2 coin mines on the far west, 2 coin mines on the east. This coin mine is a bit more into neutral territory though, and certainly the French player can even get onto this far coin mine on the left hand side of Samwise. Lecastet into the Fortress Age before the Spanish civilization, and that always feels nice when you're doing that. A couple of musketeers trained from Samwise, and they did pick up that 210 XP treasure. So even Samwise rolling into the shipments, and you can see squeezing 5 settlers out as a pivot card into the 3rd age. He had about 2 or 3 cards stacked up once he got to the next age. I think the first card is going to be Spanish gold from Sam here. Especially when you've got many more shipments coming up afterwards. That gold is just going to rack up from that first crate shipment. And Lecastet, after sending the 700 wood as that shipment, doesn't need to really send another wood shipment. Actually going for 1,000 coin, and he's really just pumping out all these units. Another 5 goons in queue, another skirmisher going down. Could buy an extra 1 or 2 houses with it. You don't need the full 1,000 wood, so say if you went for the 1k wood, or the full 1,000 coin for coin production. So there's a bit of flexibility there with the market. But 8 skirmishers afterwards, and Lecastet's rolling in the XP, so is Samwise, but I feel that Lecastet is in a dominant position at the moment. Samwise going 5 vil, Spanish gold. Lecastet's got 2 Fortress Age shipments out already. Samwise just going for the Spanish gold, which at the moment isn't very impactful. Sending 1k wood back at base as well, so he's playing really passive. And Lecastet, he's got some military advantage. He's actually starting to push out at the moment. skirmishers engaging onto the trading post. Trading post only having the 3,250 HP, but will still take a while to be sieged down, and may actually pick up a skirmisher for his troubles. It's certainly giving Samwise that time to spend that Spanish gold, 1,000 wood as well. I suppose Le Castellet was waiting really for his falconets, but it's also giving opportunity for Samwise to go falconets, and if all these dragoons and skirmishers were underneath that town centre or outpost, this is an army advantage which Le Castellet could have rolled over and actually spent in time on his trading post when it's not even a stagecoach route at the moment. I'm not too sure this is the best use of Le Castellet's military advantage. For Hussars right side, waiting for villagers to push out for a raid. I'm not too sure any villagers have gone down so far for either player, and now it's just the skirmisher exchange we've seen so far. Falconets are starting to push that middle trading post. It feels sad that this trading post, all its HP lost, but it's still standing, and it still provides an XP for the Spanish that serve here, and could be easily repaired. It would be a smart decision to repair it, especially with this extra wood income that Sam has in his bank. Right, two Falconets moving forward, getting their first vulnerable skirmishers, so they have to reload before they can engage the Falconets. Falconets kind of doing this artillery dance, as Inter likes to call it. Le Castellet starting moving forward, takes a shot, kiting his artillery back. Sam trying to push forward because he has that shot ready to go. Le Castellet now has essentially reloaded. You don't really see the animation, but there's a time delay between when you fire an artillery shot and when you can reshot. Both Falconets are moving forwards. Looks like it's going to be artillery trade-off, but Samwise taking that first shot here. Two Falconets still standing, and Le Castellet took a shot onto the infantry instead of the artillery, so both these Falconets at full HP. Another shot coming off from Samwise, and Le Castellet is forced to back off, and I think he needs... he's going to need a culverin at this point. Q says is another decision he can go, but Samwise is playing Spain, and what do Spain do very well? Heavy infantry. Double Rodellero shipments, 9, 8, veteran Rodelleros upgraded. These cuirassiers will get torn apart. Cuirassiers are strong, but Rodelleros, 40% hand melee resist, 13 times by 3.5 versus the cuirassiers, and Le Castellet thinks he's got a military advantage here. He may be in a bit of a rude awakening once these Rodelleros engage with the dragoons and cuirassiers. Falconets taking on the skirmishers. Skirmishers prodding down the dragoons, and these Falconets are still standing, so Le Castellet pushing in with the cavalry, not achieving anything at the moment. Even the hand infantry combat from Samwise incoming here. Now, does he have many more Rodelleros reinforcing? He's got a large mass of skirmishers, but when you have the Falconet support as well, I don't think he needs to go too many more skirmishers. You know that Le Castellet does have a dragoon mass still, but actually, would Le Castellet really want to go more dragoons into this skirm mass? Would you really want to go more skirmishers into this skirm mass? You see that Le Castellet is probably waiting for another cuirassier batch. Sends in 3 cures, training a bit more, but no units in queue at the moment from Le Castellet. He's pushed out the Minutemen. Rodellero's moving in place to cover the Falconets, and so the Dragoons, they're having to over-commit because they need to get into that range. They only have 12 range, but straight into Rodellero's and skirmisher fire. Always Dragoons going down, and these Falconets are still alive. This is great control from Samwise. Le Castellet is losing the entire army, and the GG comes out from Le Castellet. 1-0 to the Samwise. Or should I say 1-0 to the Hudson Bay Bigs. And multiple things I feel both players could do better in this game. Samwise could have ensured a 4-1 trading post capture, could have really zoned down Le Castellet's Explorer in the first stage to ensure a full 5-0 trading route, or makes that 4-1 that even a bit easier. So Samwise, that early game from Spain, could be a little bit crisper. Samwise going 5-0 Spanish gold, 1k wood. This 5-0, I'm not too sure actually. If you've got Spanish gold coming in, that's your eco advantage, and then you can just save another card afterwards. But I suppose, because this was level 1 stagecoach, shall I say, well, okay, level 1 trading route, that 5-0 provided that resource economy with the trading routes providing the XP. But if this was a 4-to-1 stagecoach, then this would provide the eco. You won't need the 5 vils. Spanish gold comes next, and then you have another shipment waiting to go afterwards. And then you probably send in the same cards in the same order, but you'd have that stagecoach eco backing you up. 2 barracks from Samwise, and I've seen Rodalera's skirmisher style favoured by Poisson as well, another of the few Spanish main players on the scene at the moment. And his Rodalera is just putting in so much work, especially with the hand infantry combat cards. And Lecastet, once he lost that Falconet war, you just see all these cuirassiers have gone down. The Dragoons absolutely melted because both these units counter the Dragoons. Dragoons are not countering any Spanish cavalry, and so then you can argue why were the Dragoons there in the first place, or why did you keep producing? But I suppose 10 Dragoons are always safe to start off with. And Lecastet, yeah, the unit choice, that Falk war, and even spending time on this trading post and not getting it down. Quick look at that military unit population, and we just see it just falls apart for Lecastet, and those rods, great positioning, great protecting the Falconets. Falconets doing work in the back line, and that brought the win out for the Spanish civilization. Right, let me set this up quickly. I had it set up, but I didn't press save, it looks like, which is kind of frustrating. CMC, SKG. Oh, I know what it was. I didn't delete the previous ones. CMC, SKG. Who were the SKGs playing last? Yes. Mandarin Duck Squad. Let us try now. There you go. Nope, that's not sorted out. Bigs we're playing as. Oh, I know what I did. I put the wrong teams in, didn't I? Very nice. Right, next map in this map pool is Dakar. I'm trusting these guys know which way the map pools are going and who's picking first. Still on the civs from the last game, and really useful learning points on both players in that first game if they were to review that. But apart from that, though, everything else seemed very solid, and Samwise, really good artillery control. You can see how Lecastet was trying to kite his artillery, balancing, taking shots at the trading post and taking shots at the Falconet. But when you're playing a civilization which, you know, they have ATP down and it's just level 1 XP income, don't overprice those trading posts. Just focus on your own strengths at that point. And the French player did have the military advantage at that point. Keeler cried, why is there no Aussie cast as well? Not many people from Australia play. We do have Patrick, Kawapasca is another player. We also have Son Musket, who resides in Australia. I don't believe he'll be making an appearance on this look for the meanwhile. So you have to make do with the Americans and the Europeans. Samwise going for the Ottomans on Dakar. Another map you could go for somewhat of an ATP build. You do have the 4 trading routes, trading posts on the north side. Could be easily picked up. Depends on what Civ Lecastet wants to play. Also has the opportunity to go for a Ottoman sea boom onto the South Sea. Ottomans can go schooners first card. Lots of starting wood. That's the option available as well. Could go for standard Ottoman fast fortress or a double Jan Rush or Jan Abus. So that's 5 strategies I've quoted from the Ottoman playbook. It's really hard to see predict what Samwise wants to do. But Le Castellet has the option to counterpick. We do see Su quite a lot as an option to take on the Ottomans, but the Ottomans have had a good win record. I have posted a cheeky strategy on the ESOC forums of a Su colonial all-in time and push of infantry, taking inspiration from the 2 war huts politician from the Aztecs. Su has 2 war hut cards they can send, and let's see what Le Castellet does. But I do have a test deck because I was just messing around with it. Test deck, you can go get the chief age up, 400 wood, get your market down another 100 wood, and then go for. And once you have that wood down, you don't need to chop too much. No trading post in transition. Mine a hunt 500 coin, hunt 500 food, maybe sell a bit of food for the coin. Get the XP big button, and then you can send 2 war huts. Travois, 700 wood, 600 wood, 7 club, 4 axe, 6 club, back to back with no idle time due to all that XP you get. 2000 XP early on from the War Chief civilizations is absolutely amazing. You just have so much tempo moving forward, and you can overwhelm your Ottoman player in the Second Age if it's not scouted. But sending 2 war huts on the map as Su kind of gives a bit away of what you want to do. So it's like playing as an Aztec style, but you're trying to play that surprise factor, because if you're playing Aztec, the Ottoman will likely change their strategy up. Keelerite, people thinking that he's a musket. Cutting the long story short, just don't worry about it. Don't get involved. Don't even sweat it. Just brush it off. Now, what you need to do is just say, look at my stream. Just watch me stream, and then we'll see the Sergeant gameplay come out of you, and you go, ah, no, that's not some musket, is it? No, not at all. Portuguese coming out from Le Castellet. Interesting. Both civilizations have ATP potential. Both civilizations have C potential. You can kind of argue they both have revolt potential, but the Portuguese revolt not great. Ottoman revolt nice and strong, and both have their kind of semi-FF fortress playstyle. So both players having about 4 or 5 strategies at the disposal. We'll have to see which ones they're going to play and pick out. Right, let's get underway into game number 2 on Dakar. We have Le Castellet spawning into the west-hand side of the map, playing as the Portuguese in the colour blue. His opponents, Samwise, picking the Ottoman civilization. Coin crate start for both players, and we was talking in the lobby about all the options that both players have. Both civs have cards which can go for full trading post control with the ATP. Both civilizations have water potential and try and fight for the water and the middle pond. Both civs have standard land, fast fortress, and even the Ottoman has a revolt strategy as well. Plenty of options here. Le Castellet walking past a +5 population treasure. Wouldn't want that, but is moving to the north side of the map straight away to try and contest these yaks. 6 yaks to be picked up. Maybe a 7th, but no, 6 yaks are currently all spawning. He's kind of awkwardly walked in between 2 of them. There's always one in the corner, so check your corners. One in the middle. Usually one spawning in this kind of area behind here, so Le Castellet, he could use his spyglass as well as the Portuguese to try and help his scouting. I'm not sure if he's used the spyglass yet. He's used it once, but I don't know where he clicked it. Maybe somewhere arbitrarily in the middle of the map to try and see what treasure this would be. So far, Samwise getting the yak count advantage, 3-1, killing 1 yak, preventing it being stolen from Le Castellet. So Needs must, I guess, from the Ottoman player, having to sacrifice your livestock to prevent it from being stolen. But Samwise will have eyes on where this explorer is, moving into just about in the line of the Age 1 trading post line of sight. Even using the yaks to try and scout out where the remaining yaks are, and that should be enough incentive for Samwise to go back if he wants to, but there's only one more yak. Maybe he's seen a treasure he wants to go for. Could get extra food to help his age up. And even 45 food by one line, that's an easy crack shot. And 45 food, certainly don't underestimate it. And that should speed up your age up a little bit. But it looks like Samwise is nearly there anyway. Age up, quartermaster coming from Samwise. So that's the 400 wood politician, not the outpost, and 200 coin. Coin crate still on the floor from the Ottoman player, and lots of wood coming in behind this. With the 400 wood politician, let's have a check at Samwise's deck. He has sent a second Age 1 card. Is it Schooners? It is not Schooners, I don't think. Looks like Samwise is going to go for Silk Road, and if Silk Road gets in before, that explains why he hasn't gathered up this coin crate yet. The coin crates will get extra resources due to the Silk Road, and it looks like Samwise is trying to push out and maybe capture this trading post here. Yes, deny the Portuguese player their trading posts, and try his best to get a 3-1 trading post advantage at this point. Le Castet, advanced trading post, first card. He was also on the line, but only sending... He sent one Ville forwards to try and get this trading post, but it's been denied. He's working on this trading post. Le Castet, if he really wants to do a top level play, is abandon this trading post now and go straight towards this top one here. Because if you've got a foundation of about 2000 HP, there's no way the Ottoman player's going to steal that off you. That's pretty much safe. You can send a Ville to finish it off, but then send your Explorer to capture the final one. Samwise, once again, not fully committing to this trading post. He could have a Ville right now at this point. That age up's just come in, gather that food up wood straight away, and that villager should be able to, could have chucked down a trading post, but it would have been tight. He's only just getting that wood now, and the Portuguese player is already here. So both players looking for that kind of... so it seems like that second Age 1 shipment never came in for Spain, Ottoman. I just assumed that he had another shipment due to that trading post, but maybe Ottoman's not getting XP as fast as the Spanish Civ due to the Spanish bonus. Two trading posts apiece, and Le Castet has invested into the advanced trading posts, so actually I think Samwise will be very happy with that outcome if he sees that ATP has been thrown down here by the Portuguese player. Following up with 700 wood. He has an in-base barracks, gone for a mosque and a house as well with that starting wood, but where's the rest of his wood going to be spent? It could be dock play, but he has no schooners and no rendering plant, I believe, so probably unlikely that's going to happen. Could be going for stagecoach, but at a 2-2 advantage, it doesn't really help any other player as much. Market house, he's got the minute system ready. Maybe the 700 wood is just going for the mosque upgrades, market upgrades, and Samwise going for an economic style here, and only now 700 coin coming in. Le Castet 700 coin coming in. The wood crates from the quartermaster age up, I believe, have only just been gathered up now, so saving that wood for a little bit later, focusing on the food and coin income, and he's got all his villagers right now on to the hunting. Maybe 700 food is needed here because you are double pumping villagers at the same time. So villagers being produced in the North Town Centre and your starting town centre, but has elected to go for the wood. Market down, no hunting dogs here. Portuguese do gather food slightly faster than other civs, but I'm struggling to see if this constant Ville production happens from Le Castet or 2 Villes, will Le Castet actually ever get to 1200 food in time? It seems a bit of a slow click up to the Fortress Age, regardless from the Portuguese player. Double batch of Janissaries knocking down Le Castet's far trading post, and that's the benefit of capturing your opponent's safe trading posts, and you can put pressure on this one if Le Castet steals it. We see a dock to the south with fishing boats being produced. Slightly late dock as well. Actually, I feel that dock could have been earlier. You did age up with that 400 wood partition, and you sent 700 wood first. Getting your first fishing boat now at 7 minutes feels slow as the Ottoman civilization. Age up finally in queue for Le Castet as well. Still producing villagers from the north town centre. One crossbow in queue as well. Maybe wanted to get a bit of a mass going to try and defend from these growing Janissary mass, and maybe a batch of 5 crossbows, Minutemen. Let's see what he's aging up with. Is it going to be the marksman for the Castador age up? Nope, it's the Exile Prince, fast age up, and looks like he's going to defend with the town centre trading post fire. A batch of crossbows are still in queue. I'm not too sure if that's going to be finished off. He's only got 1 crossbow. He can finish the batch, he can cancel, but Samwise is going back, and looks like he's... yeah, looks like he cancelled that batch of crossbows. Didn't need it in the end. Good play from Le Castet. Oh, double town centre right on top of this position, and not feeling the vibes here, this placement. He had the town centre come from his hometown centre because there was that risk of that Janissary push coming in. Even going Colonial Militia as a pivot card into the Third Age, and only now having access to a Fortress Age shipment. Le Castet having a nice water deck, schooners rendering plants, 3 caravel and a frigate in the Fortress Age. Maybe Le Castet wants to try and wrestle control of the middle ponds, and anti-ship damage increased as a result of Colonial Militia. Level 1 trading route for all players at the moment. Samwise getting a 3rd TP. He did pivot into the Third Age with 600 wood. Hopefully Samwise has another shipment on the way at the moment, otherwise that 600 would feel slightly awkward, but if he has another shipment on the way, then that would be a nice choice from himself. No combat card on the water, no fishing upgrade here, no Hussars in the 4th Age. It appears to be a standard land semi-FF deck with water kind of aggression on the side to contest the Castet's water, but not enough here to signify really what Samwise wants to do. But 1k wood coming in, could go into the 4th Age and then go for a fast revolt. You do have that cavalry combat card as well. Could send 4 great bombards once you reach that next age. It's up to seeing what Samwise is doing, but going for an artillery foundry barracks and continuing production into the Janissaries signifies no Age 4 play from Samwise, and that 1000 wood enough for the vet Jans, enough for maybe 3 or 4 falconets in terms of that wood count, enough for continuing fish eco out here. We do see all of the fishing boats already. They appear to be gathering from the fish, not the whales at the moment. Does have 10 villagers currently working on the coin mine, so all the fish being gathered at the moment, whales not being gathered, and at this moment, if you have villagers with steel traps on, I think it's better to have the fishing boats on the coin of the whales than on the fish. But I guess the fish helping to pump out even more Jans than you normally would. Maybe needing a second barracks to help double Jan production, or stable into Hussars. 1k coin helping that artillery production coming in. 1 frigate from the Castet, and that's a quite an advanced, that's quite a forward-thinking or premature shipment, shall I say. And you know, you're playing the Ottoman civilizations. Abusgun wreck ships, Colrins wreck ships, Falconets wreck ships as well. And Samwise with the 1k wood, 1k coin, easily able to afford artillery, and the Colrins coming up straight away from Samwise. more fishing boats in queue from Samwise. He's already burnt through that 1,000 wood. Does have more villagers on the trees gathering, but no second town centre as well. Looks like the Ottoman eco's kind of stalled off a little bit. No upgrades from the fishing boats as well, and when you have 7 fishing boats, I guess you don't need to upgrade them. It's not necessarily worth it at that point. But I do like the idea he's added some sort of fish eco, but it's not. It just doesn't feel that it's a committal from Samwise here. Right, Culverin's engaged in the Falconet, double shots, getting a nice 400 siege damage down on both things. Frigate being sent in from the Ottoman Civ as well, but you got double town centre on top of the coastline here. This frigate can only really sit here, and Culverin's as well from Le Castet. So Culverin mirror, frigate mirror. Culverin's engaging in this frigate. I think that frigate basically needs to try and push in and snipe this Culverin's down, because this ship is dead. It's just dead. There's no way of beating around the bush here. It can't retreat. Culverins have pinned it down. Can the Culverins actually reach each other across the ponds? 34 range. Oh, he's not going to try and ferry those Culverins. That'd be a mistake. But at this point, just get the damage done. You know you're going to lose your frigates, and I felt so sad from Samwise, that frigate shipment, but it is confirmed Culverins can fire across the bay. They have enough range. I'm hoping Le Castet is not going to go for the 3 caravels into middle ponds. That will feel another awkward shipment. Still fishing boats to the south, uncontested, but now the Portuguese eco with 3 town centres continuously pumping out the villagers. 4 villas in queue at the moment, so that's nice from Le Castet, keeping on top of his eco. Samwise though, moving to the north, Bakhti Temple being thrown down, second town centre. Looks like Samwise wants to move his land army to the north side of the map to try and defend, and 2 town centres on top of all his berry bushes. With the berry upgrade, even Le Castet wants that berry upgrade now. He's starting to run at hunts, be a good time, but he's going to be very disappointed once he sees this operation to the north side. He's going to back out straight away, and the action, the initial Age 1 walling coming down here, then action over the TP line, and then we did see a bit of action on the ponds. We're going to see both armies probably going to move north and try and contest the north side, so action across the map. Le Castet, he's feeling fine staying here. Does 3 TP ports when you have to pay for your vills, is that a wise thing to carry on doing versus a 3 town centre Ottoman free training vills? The military is slightly in advance of Samwise here. Lots of Falconets and lots of Culverins moving out. Veteran Janissaries with the Janissary combat card coming out as well. Falconets should be able to deal with the Cassadors. But we have double Colonial Militia town centres. No vills nearby, but big batches of Colonial Militia can be produced. At the moment though, yeah. 2 town centres, no villagers nearby. This feels, again, like, oh, I've got 2 town centres to defend my trading post, but with no town centre fire, it's just bait for Samwise to take on and take down these town centres, and he's going to go and do that. Dragoons trying to move around. Okay, there's a big first batch of Minutemen coming out. These Janissaries are pinned down. This would be a good opportunity for the Dragoons to move to the north side and take shots onto the Falconets and Culverins. Slow to react to that. Falconets just trading. Dragoons just trading straight on heads with the veteran Janissaries. All those Minutemen already down thanks to the Falconet and the strong Janissaries. And Janissaries 294 HP with the combat card. Very strong units, and so even overwhelming the Portuguese play at the moment. Another Minutemen batch, town centre's second tier Minutemen, so big minutes being called. Falconets and Culverins going down. Now that the Dragoons are finally getting onto the artillery pieces to the north side. All the Culverins down from on the Portuguese side, but all the artillery from Samwise is essentially down as well. 1 Culverin, not much use if there's no other artillery on the field. All in all, a decent engagement from Samwise there, taking down lots of Le Castet's eco, denying villagers being trained from this town centre. Meanwhile, these town centres are continuously pumping out units for free. Le Casse-Tête had to invest resources into replenishing his army instead of villagers, while Samwise, any eco he gets is just purely going into military. And we can see another full batch of falconets, and it's so wise that he kept that culverin alive. You just see these falconets going to unload, take a massive shot into these castles. Hopefully he splits up that falconet volley. But Janissary is still standing, protecting from the Dragoons, and with no ranged cavalry caracol from the Dragoons, these Dragoons will have to get up close and personal to take on the falconets and in range of the Janissaries. And then there was peace again. I'm not too sure if that vegetarian upgrade has been in just yet. Maybe Samwise just wanted to protect it from his opponent taking it. It's currently working on hunts around the map. He does have, the fish on the fish eco on the south side, even getting gill nets and comes about 8 fishing boats. I'd still like more fishing boats from Samwise though, maybe 12 to 15. But I guess at this point, slightly late to kind of move into that. And we have 3 town centres on the field. Town centre eco is more important and really should be moving into the 3rd tier speed upgrade. I think the 3rd tier villager production speed upgrade was moved to the Fortress Age from the industrial. Do not quote me on that one there. There's 5 culverins. Oh my god, Samwise with the 4 falconet, 5 culverins, veteran Janissaries. I would have actually liked to have seen Abus gun production coming in now for Samwise. And maybe off of 2 artillery foundries. 2 culverins coming in for Le Casse-Tête. But once he sees these 5 culverins, he's going to think, oh, how am I going to deal with this? And this is tough from Le Casse-Tête. How does he fight this? He can't go organs. He can try and go mass culverins here to try and defend what Samwise is doing. You could go mass dragoons, but without your ranged cavalry caracol and a dragoon mass, hard to pick off these units. You got no Minutemen remaining, no villagers in the town centre, and these Janissaries will trade very, very well, cost-effectively versus Dragoons. And these Dragoons are moving forward, trying to engage the Janissaries, but that is the wrong decision from Le Casse-Tête. But what do you do versus these guys? Do you try and sneak a 3 caravel shipment as soon as they spawn, get some broadsides off onto the artillery and try and trade off? Even if you pick off 2 falconets with that 3 caravel shipment, that's better than... what else can you send now? Well, you've gone through these unit shipments. You could try and wait for Mamelukes. Mamelukes could be enough, but with many, many heavy infantry of the Janissaries, they're going to get picked off very, very quickly. You can see how Samwise is slowly pushing in. Lots of culverins exposed south side. This is that window which Le Casse-Tête was looking for. A window for culverins to path around and pick these guys off, but not taking it just yet. Staying with the falconets, but again, Dragoons in the same range as Janissaries getting picked off here, and this is not looking good here from Le Casse-Tête. Samwise with the double artillery push out here, very smart. Abus do die to CM, but when you have no villagers in the town centre and no villas nearby, those Abus guns are protected. And just imagine having about 5 or 10 Abus guns prodding away at the veteran castles and dragoons. Outrange, okay, not outrange the castles, but outrange the dragoons definitely, and pick up some good damage. Those culverins have finally gone down, I believe, from the Ottoman player. They kind of went on a very awkward path. Falconet's moving forward and trying to get big volleys onto castles. Another 3 going down there, but with 1 culverin still on the field and no culverins remaining from Samwise, Le Casse-Tête can push out. He's basing all the Janissaries, and these dragoons going straight on top of the falconets. Oh my god, Sam! This is your play, and you've just let 4 falconets go down there to the dragoons and culverin. Another 2 reinforcing falconets. Mam's being sent to North Town Centre. Town Centre nearly going down here. Le Casse-Tête could even go Mams himself, but he's got lots of food, but not a lot of coin behind. Le Casse-Tête's got such a big bank of resources, he just needs to sell all that food for coin, throw down another 4 houses, maybe get a barracks out as well, second barracks, and just double pump Cassadors and Dragoons. Single dock play, 2 fishing boats, very insignificant. Mamelukes, no Cav Combat upgrade just yet coming in from the Ottoman player. Obviously Cav Combat with just the 4 Mamelukes could even still be worth it, to be honest. But in this case, they're already losing much HP, no need. And it's just that 4 Mams really cleaning up the artillery, but Samwise pushing in with more culverins. But this eco is just still growing for Samwise. These town centres are just continuously pumping. They don't need any more. They don't need resources being invested. And I guess Le Casse-Tête has lots of food available, but actually, you know, he doesn't really want to pump into villages, and he's only got 1 town centre at the moment. Two shipments in queue. What do you send here? Do you just go schooners and just put like 30 vils on wood and trying to explode your eco onto the sea? Le Casse-Tête is unsure if Samwise is on the water or not, and vice versa. Actually, both players have got no visual on each other's dock operations. Le Casse-Tête trying his best to continuously pump units out to defend this, but 3k food. Yeah, he's now finally got 40 vils on the trees to provide extra infrastructure. I'm sure we're going to see triple barracks being thrown down behind this just to mass, and even mills coming out, but you don't need extra mills if you've got 3k food in the bank. You just need that production facility and pop space. Rendering plant from Le Casse-Tête in before schooners. Unsure on that one. Light artillery hit points is coming in for the Ottoman player, but does not buff the falconets. This only buffs Aegis gun grenadiers, but we still have no grenadiers on the floor for Samwise, and it's only just starting to open into Aegis gun. So, finally, double Aegis gun production from 2 artillery factories. What a great decision here from Samwise, I think. Maybe spent a little bit too long on the falconets. He sieged through a lot of the town centres. Now that those town centres are down, those Aegis guns are really what he wants to take on the Portuguese army. And Le Casse-Tête going for rendering plants, eco theory, but Samwise is double pumping Aegis guns into this. Culverins on the field. That's okay. Take down the rest of my artillery. I've now got Aegis guns, and you've only got a handful of dragoons and a couple of veteran Cassadors. That berry upgrade coming yet? Not just yet, and he's got lots of vils on the berries. He still has vils on the South Sea, gathering on the pond. That's why Samwise's food income is looking a little bit skeptical, but the reason why he doesn't have a massive food income, because he wants to gold. He wants to go double Aegis gun. Another 10 Aegis guns reinforcing galleys sent into the middle pond. Useful for protecting your culverins and falconets if you need to evacuate, but galleys on the South Sea would be even better, not just because of the fishing operation, which he couldn't predict, but putting pressure on the southern side of the base. You know you're pressuring on the top side, so Le Casse-Tête's naturally going to have buildings on the south side. We even seen in the Soldier game from yesterday, Soldier playing Aztecs, going for the Tawak canoes and destroying the Japan base from the sea and making full use of the Dakar map style, the Southern Sea, close to your opponent's town centre. Now it looks like Samwise has now got to that unkillable mass of units. Le Casse-Tête's only out here surely is to send those Mamelukes, but I guess Mamelukes having range resist, not siege resist, these Aegis guns could actually focus those units down very quickly. Another batch of Aegis guns. Anti-cavalry units from Samwise looking quite low here, but Castor's trying to trade off versus his units. CM was, sent. Another CM batch coming out. No villagers in the town centre, and that's been a feature of Le Casse-Tête's play this game. Is no villagers in the town centre. Culverins is joining for the fight because might as well, and Le Casse-Tête resigning. Another victory for Samwise, 12 here. Sompu Konku, how many Botto slot 1-2 wins Botto has this tournament been? Well, every player can play Ottoman. Le Casse-Tête could have played the Ottomans here. Could have been an Ottoman mirror, and one way to play counter your opponent's Ottoman is to go Ottoman yourself. But I feel that Samwise just kind of had that edge, and I'd never realised how strong veteran Janissaries with the Janissary combat card is. Having a look at the card here, it's Janissary plus 20% HP attack instead of 15 as a normal combat card would be. So very, very buffed, strong units. And Samwise not even needing to send 8 Jans. You can see his card progression has been a little bit more, I won't say boomy, but 1k wood, 1k coin. The frigate was a bit unfortunate. Jan combat 2 Falcons. Falconet's just standard for any strategy, but Silk Road coming in behind to try and increase that TP resource yield as well. Mamelukes as well, nice shipments, and actually put in a lot of work, taking down probably about 20 Castors, 2 Culverins, and maybe 5 Dragoons. Really nice. And then light artillery hit points came in at a great time when he was going to double Aebus gun production. Galleys was shipped, but at that point, I think the game was in Samwise's advantage. At that point, Le Castex having shipments available, but only having 8 shipments in the third age. I think he started to run out of options, and he had the full 4 shipments in age 1, and it's quite hard to argue to not include these shipments in age 1. Having 8 Expos and 6 Musketeers kind of needed to defend from any Ottoman aggression. I think just Samwise just outplayed here. 5 Falconets, 5 Culverin pushing. Don't usually see that often, and it's managed to work out. Le Castex did have a great eco in that middle part of the game. Didn't have any CM fire though. Ottoman eco keeping in check with the Portuguese, and if the Ottoman eco is in line with the Portuguese, then you know you're in for trouble, because the Ottoman, they don't spend their resources on villagers, and that villager production from Ottoman towards the end was very nice, and always ahead in that military fight. These 2 spikes were the double CM pop from the town centre, and that was underneath that 5 Falconet, 5 Culverins. Samwise did lose those Culverins very quickly actually, but the reinforcement Falconets and 8 Janissaries are just continuous, and just continuously trading off versus Le Castex, and really hampering Le Castex's ability to pump Vills out at that point. You see that kind of that Vill progression kind of levels off during those 2 fights because of having to prioritize military productions of villagers. And if you go back to the map, that north side control from Samwise with the double wall, zoning off the Portuguese player from all his actually resources. The berries were gathered up from Le Castex with no vegetarianism upgrade, and having to go into mills at this point. Mills plantations would really awkward there from the Portuguese player, where the Ottoman player no such issues, still on those in-base berry bushes. Probably had that vegetarianism upgrade, a few hunting villas hereby, but lots of villagers on the top side going through that double 5k coin mine, and very nice control there from Samwise. Let's get the Hudson Bay Bigs going in the chat. Kinesi's playing, and yeah, let's join Le Castex's game. Looks like Sir Callan has volunteered to cast the next series between Lucas and Kaiser Klein. Another high-level series brought to you on eSoc TV. I'm excited for that one. I always enjoy Sir Callan's cast. I've casted with him a few times. Very good player, knowledgeable as well. So a great mix of casting ability and knowledge. I'm sure you'll all appreciate Callan giving up his time to cast, and I'm sure you'll all watch that massive game between Kaiser and Lucas starting in about 1 hour's time, and well, directly after this series. But first, we need to go into game 3. Akila Cry, another $10. Tiger killed Culverin. Please nerf in next patch. Oh, I didn't see that. Did the Culverin area of effect damage trigger a Treasure Guardian picking off a Culverin? I missed that. I don't think that the Treasure Guardian picked off all the 5 of those Ottoman Culverins, but Killer Cry must be very entertained. He's been donating a lot recently. It's saying even that was such a fun game to watch, and I know, and that's one of the reasons why I really like the map Dhaka. It just offers so many different strategies, so many different play styles. It may be a bit awkward to actually play on it as a player, but as a caster, there's just, you see the entire map, you see all the avenues and possibilities. You can kind of divide it into 4 zones: the Southern Sea, that middle, that choke point down to the south side of the islands, yes, and kind of the bases, the trading route, and then that northern berry patch. Right, British versus German on Kamchatka is coming up. Alright guys, welcome to game number 3. Samwise currently 2-0 up after his wins on High Plains and Dhaka. Now playing as the British on Kamchatka. Le Castet is taking the Germans, and Le Castet will not be very happy to see a single food crate start. No wood crates. Looks like Le Castet would probably... It looks like he's going to go for the market play, because he's sending his villagers onto the wood as well, so going for the market as well. Maybe it was a food and wood crate start as well. Actually, I do always get confused if it's the 3 crates Germans start with or 2. So actually, with the 3 food crates, I think Le Castet has enough time to train Vils, use his villagers to herd back the bighorn sheep, and then get enough resources available. And you can see he's got 50 food in, and then he's going to mine the coin for the hunting dogs, but also buy 100 woods to get the house down as well. Castet could have had 2 Vils in queue, another Vil hunting already, and then sell some of that. I'm confused what Castet's doing. He's picked up a 40 wood treasure, so now he's nearly got enough resources for the house. Okay, he's now got hunting dogs in queue. He's now going to continue chopping for the house. This house might be quite late though. It's always interesting German early macro. It's actually quite difficult. There are some instances with early macro difficulties like German, China, some with easier ones, and like Samwise, the British here, just chopping extra wood for a 2nd manor house, going for a 3rd manor house as well. And did he get a massive wood treasure? He got 80 wood, and that was one of the wood treasures in the middle of the map. And you see how both players would normally move to the middle islands. It looks like Le Castet actually stayed on the left-hand side of the map, with Samwise moving into the centre, picking up some goats as well. 2 more goats remaining in that middle map, and a 80 coin treasure. And you can turn on the fog wall, you can kind of see the players' scouting patterns. Right, Explorer fight in the middle. Looks like Le Castet's Freitag is actually going to get picked off, and another ranged attack, and Freitag's gone, and that is a bit of a loss, really. Freitag's certainly a nice extra scouting unit both players have on this map. Can pick up some of the goats remaining, and to lose it like that is a little bit unfortunate. But Le Castet's Explorer, named Kaiser, still has a high HP stat, 360, and there's no way Samwise can really deny Le Castet that Explorer and deny the German player going for a trading post in transition. But I have to say, Age 1, I'm going to have to give it to Samwise here. Julian Loss donating 50 big uns. Go Hudson Bay Bigs, rooting for the underdogs. But are they underdogs really? They are doing very well. But certainly got some big supporters in the chats. I'm fancying the New World Challengers, but at the moment it's the CMCs versus the Bigs, and Bigs in this matchup. Samwise 2-0 versus Lacazette. Good starts so far in H1. Can he carry it on and pick up the third win? Right, Samwise and the Freitag are, pinning down this Explorer from Lacazette, and you may think, viewers, you might think, oh, hang on a minute, Samwise is down in HP, he's going to lose his Freitag, but that's just denying Lacazette even more time from building the trading post, and Oneville moving forward on herding duties, it looks like. Now Kaiser's moving to his home trading post to drop it down, but he's not even got that trading post down, and it's nearly halfway aged up, so this might come in quite late. We don't have a visual where that trading travois is, and I think it won't matter too much. I think he should be able to get up this pass, especially now that he's building it now. But he's waiting a little bit. Come on, Lacazette, get onto it. It's not going to be close. He should get this TP travois. So in the end, the play from Samwise, good in theory, just didn't work out here today. So Samwise, 3 vills, no Virginia company, but still lots of manor houses being produced, and actually sending quite a lot of these manor houses out and about just to get an extra bit of line of sight. Once he gets to the second stage, that line of sight will increase, so you could have spread out these houses a little bit more. You don't want to put them too far out versus Germany, though. The kill XP from these guys are quite expensive, 81 XP if they get sieged down. The Cassette sending 3 settler wagons as next card. You can see by the pop, 1 villa in queue, 2 wood being gathered up, stable going down, 2 houses going down. Notice how the settler wagons are building it. These settler wagons are just sent onto the coin mine, but it's very easy for these settler wagons then to build these houses and stables. These settler wagons are very efficient when they're building, so good play from the Cassette to kind of maximise that eco advantage there by using the settler wagons. There you go, 3 settler wagons out, splitting his coin gatherers on between the 2 different silver mines. I like that play a lot. Both of these coin mines are relatively defended. There's no obvious forward coin mine and back. 2 Uhlans out, catching the British player Explorer. So the Cassette playing this early age 2 very well. Let's see if he's going for many Uhlans at this point. He does have 3 in queue. He did buy another house as well. You see that 50 population. German players are kind of forced to buy wood from the market to get this extra house, because otherwise you can only get 4 Uhlans out with constant vill production. Pikes though being made from Samwise, and that should be enough to defend from maybe 5 to 7 Uhlans, or at least trade off very cost effectively. Defensive outposts and town centre with vill supports nearby. Only market only coming down now. Possibly a little late here, the market. He does have 29 vills, but I suppose he was focusing on that mana production, getting that barracks down, getting the pikemen out, and the pikemen will protect the vills, and then you can upgrade the vills later, and it's keeping the vills alive at this point is the priority. Vills moving, cavalry moving right side, but actually all this cavalry's been zoned off, and the Cassette could come in again onto this coin mine, but trying to focus this other cav mass away from this coin mine, and actually not getting anything picked up there from the German player or British players. Vills nicely tucked up and safe. Looks like he only... Yeah, he got a 4 Uhlan batch out instead of a full 5, so raiding with 6 Uhlans, 10 pikes, easily enough to scare away, and I think Lacazette weighed up his options and realised, actually, to try and pick up a villager, a bit risky, I might lose all my cavalry, and that trade won't be worth it. Samwise, 700 coin, second shipment, getting a very prompt age up in behind this, instead of going for 5 vill, 600 wood, and again, Uhlans really trying to get something done, but they're not going, and hang on a minute, a barracks mid-map, 3 settler wagons, 700 wood, not the coin, and he's trained another batch of Ulan. So what is going on here from Le Castellet? He's got 5 bows in queue on Ulan, so it's not a doppel Ulan play, it's a crossbow Ulan play. 5 crossbows, will that be enough? I mean, the 5 crossbows, 16 with a small multiplier versus heavy infantry, but it won't be enough to one-shot pikemen with those 5 bows. He will need another batch. I think the bows here is just giving Samwise that time, and Samwise, the British player with the slow age up, gets into the Fortress Age before the German player. This is not standard, and Le Castellet is going full colonial here. Quick check at Le Castellet's deck, full rack of cards in Second Age, even including 5 Ulans, which is not the best shipment going. Right, Samwise longbows having enough line of sight to scout these crossbowmen, and seeing this massive Ulans, Samwise knows what is up. He doesn't have any cards on the way just yet, I believe. Maybe sends in one transition. No, he sent that 600 wood to kind of help that infrastructure and eco. Another batch of longbowmen's been produced, another being trained from the barracks, keeping these pikemen nice and tight to kind of keep them alive. A couple of these vills, no great coats, need to get them to the town centre, and need to kind of use town centre support. Maybe Minutemen is coming very, very soon, nearly getting that wood food available. Okay, Minutemen being called, pikemen engaging into the Ulans, and the Ulans are nearly all down actually. Lots of low HP units here, and it's just longbows versus colonial crossbowmen, and this is a good engagement here for Samwise, and I'm unsure by this play from the Castellet, whether pushing in with crossbows was the choice. If there were Doppelsonders, the Doppel's been on top of this longbow mass already, and yeah. Another small batch of pikemen coming out, and that's very nice in Samwise, just having enough anti-cavalry just in case another wave of Ulans come across, but Le Castellet is now aging up. He's got 1200 food in bank, sent in 700 coin when he has already 600 in the bank, but aging up when he's already lost his entire colonial army. It's just, it feels really awkward play. I know that he really wanted to get something done in that second age and was banking on getting that economic damage from the Brit player, but actually Brit player has just aged up safely, defended with Minutemen, pikemen and longbowmen being sent from the adventurer age up. 5 Hussar first card, and that will clean up any more crossbowmen on the field, but it's only just 2 Ulans from Le Castellet, and that's his entire military. There's nothing left. Aging up, take a while to get the age up in queue, and to complete that, and then send a shipment. No shipments as well, and not enough coin to go in for a mercenary. Samwise can just send something to town centre, and I think once he sees Le Castellet is in the third age, we'll have enough time to sit under the town centre for about 30 seconds before hightailing it out of there. That donation saying that they are cheering for the Bigs, but look at this, the Bigs on fire at the moment, and Samwise in a very nice place. Not completely over yet from Castellet, but having 25 villagers in this town centre isn't a great start. Only just sent age 3 shipment, cancelled it, and looks like he's going to resend another one. Let's look at Le Castellet's options in age 3. Double crate shipments, the standard 4 cards, Cav Combats, War Wagons, and Double Merc. This set of 10 cards is the most standard German set you'll see. I don't think Le Castellet is trying to focus into mercenaries here. He's got lots of food gatherers and spending resources as he goes. It may be a 3 War Wagon first shipment and a batch of 5 War Wagons coming out to kind of stabilise. But Samwise is ready for the War Wagons. Pikemen still standing, doing siege damage, but going into Dragoons and mass longbow, veteran longbows as well. We can see that a couple... I think the War Wagons were... Okay, no, they weren't cancelled. 5 War Wagons being completed, or... No, 2 War Wagons being trained, 3 shipped. Ulans popping out from this forward barracks. No, skirmishers forward barracks. A couple skirms from a secondary barracks. It was in base, yet there's a secondary barracks. Quite a lot of this army is disjointed, but skirmishers pretty weak versus longbowmen, and these veteran longbows very happy to see these War Wagons and skirmishers on the field. Manor house in the middle of the map. Outposts may have been quite nice for the line of sight, but I suppose longbows have a very respectable line of sight with their 22 range, and another volley could have come up there, but looks like Lecaster managing to save this skirmisher's life just about though. Very low HP, 1 HP out of 134. That skirmisher should count himself very lucky. Eco from Samwise, steel traps, gang sort, no great coats. There has been a bit of raiding on the side from Lecaster down to the south, and we do see another 3 Ulans going that way. But maybe an Ulan mass might be what he needs to kind of break into this British player's army. A couple pikes left side catching these Ulans. We'll be chasing these guys down, and the Ulans may be able to pick up a couple Vils here and there. No great coats being researched just yet from Samwise. He definitely does have the eco spare to go and get this tech if he wants. 2 Falconets as well. That out of position could get picked off here by his Ulans if these Ulans are really inquisitive enough, shall we say. And another Vil going down. 8 Vils in total from the British player so far, but the military advantage firmly in the... Well, yeah, the military firmly in the British player's favour. Even calling back the Dragoon to help, but I believe he's actually grouped this Hussar and Dragoons together, and it is useful in terms of engagements because you want your Hussars out front tanking, Dragoons behind firing, and you probably want to slam those Hussars into the skirmishers. But in terms of raid support, Hussars are slowing down these Dragoons. These Dragoons are faster than these Ulans and should kind of cut these guys down. A couple of pikemen staying by, but actually just have the pikemen on top of your villagers. They're kind of proxy and trying to catch the raids, but actually just protect your villagers with the pikemen, and they basically do the same job. Villagers moving topside for Hunt and the mine. It gets to that point in the game now. I think the British players should be aware of. Oh my god, Falconet's out of position. The Dragoons are so out of position due to Jackson that way. I don't know why he sent all his Dragoon army. And there you go, veteran Ulans coming on top of the Longbowmen. And this could be disastrous here for Samwise. He lost 1 Falconet. War Wagons with their 16 range focusing down the 2nd Falconet. Samwise has donated the Falconets to the German army and about 10 longbows as well. Like, this is... We were saying that Samwise was in a dominant position, may just about be fine still, but that was enough to keep Lecaster in the game. Ulan getting picked off by the villagers. Villagers again, no blunderbuss, no great coats. Both upgrades cost 75 food. Increase your HP, increase your hand attack. What you really need to defend from Ulan raids. But big raids topside. Dragoons going straight onto Lecaster. Lecaster's Vils does have their great coats. Settler Wagons range resist, so should really be focusing down these normal villagers. He does have to snare on these Settler Wagons, so good play. Snare a few of these villagers, but focusing down with range damage on these other normal settlers is the correct play from Samwise, and you can see so many villagers going down here. Settler Wagons getting out alive, but Lecaster, realising the position he's in, he's going for a counter raid, picking up 4 Vils readily in the middle of the map. No great coats again, but these 4 Vils were definitely dead. Samwise knows where this army is. He sees 2 Ulans going to the south side. These settlers, they should be pulled back or something. This feels sloppy if you lose even more villagers here. And another villager going down to 2 Ulans, and please get your villager upgrade cards. You need them in this kind of raiding game, especially when you're playing versus Germany as well. With all the civs, eco population is still even, and big raid from Samwise was just enough to get ahead, but he's losing a few more Vils, and it's now even again. You certainly don't want to be even equal economic population versus the German army. Germany have a slightly stronger composition and army strength in the Fortress Age, and Samwise sends in 8 Vils. 8 Vils and still equal eco population, and it feels like Samwise really needs to send like your Cav combat, maybe Yeoman. He's already sent the 10 longbows and the 5 Hussars. 2 Falconets have gone down as well. A crate support could be quite nice as well. But another raid, top side. More Ulans on top of these villagers with their no greatcoats. What is going on? Another 2 Vils going down. And these Vils, they could have punched down the Ulans there, but just without the upgrades, they just they felt too risky, and I suppose now with veteran Uhlans it's much harder to do so. Samwise really hasn't been defending his raids very well this game. To be massing Longbow Dragoon at this point, should it be enough to counter what the German army's got? Another market going down after losing the one in the base. Let's see what techs Le Castet's working with. Steel traps, place mines, greatcoats. But Sam should be aware that the German army is reliant on their coin income and can be pressuring coin and should be denying at this point now this coin to the top sides and the coin in middle islands. The other coin mines on the left side possibly out of Sam's reach. Okay, big longbow mass with the skirmishers with the yeoman card as well, so 26 range. Samwise is pulling his units back. Maybe he's waiting for something coming in for reinforcing, but Cav Combat now just going for Lacazette. Not enough Uhlans here, enough Dragoons to scare us away, and I think the army from Samwise is very nice. Is Le Castet, though, going to have enough coin on the map to get out to the Jaegers? That would be a nice shipment here. Another Uhlan raid south side, picking up the Explorer again. Villagers are starting to move down here, so it's imperative that Samwise tightens up his defense. Yeah, he lost a villager due to walling, and how many villagers now have gone down for Samwise? 26 vills. And he still does not have the greatcoats. Am I going insane here? Dragoon's pathing straight into the skirmishes. He's unsure which way he wants to go. He's going the wrong way though. Uhlans moving forward onto the longbow mass. Le Castet could actually clean this up here, but Dragoon's just about getting back into a position and nearly got the British army caught out position there, but Le Castet didn't commit at that point. It seems like he's waiting for something. What's he waiting for? Maybe he's feeling that he's in the economic lead. 4 Dragoons stationed on the right side to catch the raids, and again, that's lots of military from the British player not involved in the actual army. Right, longbows. Time to engage the skirmishers. This would be a good time for you. Healthy amount of Dragoons here to take down the Uhlans, and I think Le Castet needs artillery support at this point, or Jaegers. We're going for another 5 war wagons, but there's no hussars on the field from Samwise. His longbows beat the skirmishers. I guess the war wagons deal with the Dragoons, but Dragoons trading very efficiently versus war wagons due to the fact that war wagons melee resist. Dragoons have the range resist. I suppose Cav Combat on these guys, very strong. Hoping for Cav Combat coming in from Samwise here, the next card. But now that Samwise is poking on top of this coin mine, I think Le Castet's going to have to be forced into play here. Sunny Dash with another $50 donation just in time before a big engagement between the German army and the British player. Nothing better than a great game of Age of Empires 3 on a Sunday morning. Sunny Dash, it seems like you're all from the overseas in the Americas. I hope you're enjoying your morning so far. It's currently 3:30 in the UK. Le Castet evacuating his villas to the safer north coin mine. 1600 coin available. Samwise feeling slightly more comfortable pushing out. Cav Combat not in just yet. Okay, now it's just come in. Cav Combat. Hopefully there's an Arsenal coming down for Samwise as well soon. Arsenal would be very nice for the infantry breastplate and ranged cavalry caracole to buff both his longbows, dragoons. Cutting off the eco here from Le Castet. And that wall was eventually completed. These villagers may be trapped. They could run to the middle section, but Samwise not scouting the edges of the map. Going for the coin mine though. We'll see 4 vills and a settler wagon. And these settler wagons are not moving just yet. These need to run. There's a lot of longbows here, and with this massive range, a couple of these units will go down. Okay, this is going to force the German player's hand. A big push in from Germany from behind, but the Uhlans are going elsewhere. I think the Uhlans want to go for a raid, and actually it's Samwise who needs to pull back his vills. 10 pikes coming out as well. Could catch some of these Uhlans off. Won't do too much. Actually, will get picked off because Cav Combat veterancy, and yeah, that's pretty grim, but lots of units going down there for the German player, and Le Castet's just going to run away. He does have gates in his walls. Well, he has the ability to go for the gates. But Dragoons looking to catch these Uhlans. This has been an exciting game, real close, lots of raids going on. A couple of Vils trying to go into that middle coin mine, but when you have that wall down to the south, this is a safer coin mine, as well as actually this top coin mine as well. Okay, Dragoons onto the Uhlans. Uhlans going to go straight for the Longbows. Dragoons really need to body block here. Longbows are focusing down the Uhlans. I think that's the correct play here. Get rid of these Uhlans, and then Longbows will trade very, very well versus the War Wagons. Could split a few of these guys off into the War Wagons at this point. Military population looking pretty healthy for the German player at the moment. All these Uhlans have just about gone down. Skirmishers have been focusing down these Dragoons from Samwise. But now it's Longbows and Dragoons versus Skirmishers, War Wagons. Longbows have been given upgrade cards, Skirmishers unupgraded. More reinforcing Uhlans, but picked off by the Dragoons. I mean, it's just these War Wagons. A couple War Wagons get picked off by this full batch of Longbows left sides, and each time this Longbow picks off a War Wagon, that's more coin the German player will not have access to. Where these Longbowmen, you can just spam them, they're food and wood, easy to replace. Longbows chasing down the War Wagons. Ranged Cavalry Caracol incoming behind this. I'm sure Infantry Breastplate would be queued up straight afterwards, because if you have the Arsenal there and then, it's quite a cheap upgrade to get. Villagers moving right side, and will be disheartened to see that that's going to be scouted by the British players' Vils, and we may see these Longbows just run away at this point and try and pick up those villagers, and that's what we see. British army moving right side, reinforcements being rallied to the top side. A couple of Vils trying to get out of the way and throw down a wall, but this is just looking pretty tough. And always just about... Okay, enough Dragoons here to kind of block that wall foundation. It's not a full wall. This is going to be tough from Le Casse-Tête. I think these Vils are going to go down. War Wagons joining in to help, but going straight into Longbows. They're going down. A big Uhlan raid in the middle. Outpost has been created. Really nice choice there from Samwise, getting the outpost in the middle of the map. And Le Casse-Tête is running towards the British players' base, probably the safest place on the map at the moment, but Dragoons chasing, and I'm sure we'll see a resignation soon coming out from Le Casse-Tête. Uhlans trying to come in for a big raid of their own. Could actually get a big raid of their own going on. We're trying to join up with the army, but all these Vils going down, and then Longbows still dealing with the War Wagons. 3-0 to the Hudson Bay Bigs in this matchup. 3-0 to Samwise. Kilo Cricht saying it's 12:30 AM in the Australian outback, or wherever, whichever city he believes. I think he said he was nearby Australia, nearby Sydney, shall I say. I used to live nearby Sydney for a year. I was doing at university at the University of Wollongong, so maybe you're nearby that area in the southern side, in the... Oh, what is that region called? It's like it's a region. There's like a lake down to the south side of Sydney. And you have cliffs on one side to see the other. It's Illawarra region, I believe it's called. But yeah, I was at Wollongong for a year. Kilo Cricht staying up late into the night, enjoying this ESOC action. Probably sat in his bed with maybe some snacks, some drink, enjoying it. I'm glad you're keeping company with us. 3-0 to Samwise. 2 more games to go, remember. It's a playable 5 series. All resources very close, actually. Edging ahead for the British player, as to be expected. But the German player had a decent eco in the early fortress when he had all his villagers out across all the mines, not being raided. But as the game went on, villagers left, right and centre went down, and a big raid here from Le Casse-Tête onto Samwise's Vils. I think that was during a fight, and how many times do we see a German player raiding villagers during a big fight? That is such a top tier player to take away and help your own gameplay out. When a big fight's about to happen, send 3 Vils into your opponent player's hunts, and that way it's hard for them to react and try and control that fight. But the actual fight itself went in the British player's favour with the Longbows. Really good cleanup in the British players' base as well from that early H2 push from Lacazette. And now put the German player on the back foot for the rest of the game. And if Lacazette did normal German things with that rating as well, I think Lacazette could have edged that game. So that's Sompu Konku on that. I can't see it. If you read this, you must join. Oh, I must join a Lance Corporal game now.
Yes.
No, I've got Sompu as a friend, so he's not online, is he? No, he's not online. Oh, it's the first thing. The first text string is the player name instead of the actual room lobby. So yeah, no, it's just a random Smurf. Right, Manchurian game before. Civ reset. Samwise picking the French civilization for the Hudson Bay Bigs. Lacazette trying to get a point on the board for the Sims. He's going to be countering the Germans. Played Germany last game, but Samwise now playing his favourite civilization of French. Did win the French versus Spain game in game 1, so looking to be another close game. Slightly German favoured. I'm excited for this one as well. Raiding would be a bit harder for the German player because it's a bit more of a narrow map. I will make sure to check resource balance at the start of this one. And we're launching into game number 4. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3. Neutral, 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 neutral. That's starting, and just the one hunt missing. How mine's looking balanced. One hunt missing for Lacazette. I will let him know. If we do carry on this game though, ooh, no, that's not the way of doing it. Yeah, Hudson Bay Bigs. Right, off we go. Wood crate start. I think that's why Lacazette's happy to play this map. He does have the back herd of back hunt in the corner and a hunt near the training line, whereas Samwise would be very happy with his 2 extra hunts. 1 extra hunt nearby his base. Both players going for his training post. Will his training post go up in time? No, he's going to miss out early pass of XP, and that's pretty gutting there for Samwise. Samwise picking up Weasel's 30 coin. Hopefully that's not his Explorer, because that would be quite annoying if it was. But you knowing Samwise, he's very efficient. Probably was his villagers. Kaitin though, a nice big 90 wood treasure straight away. So missing that early XP treasure, not the greatest, not the biggest deal. But even Lacazette getting a really good Kaitin action on this Tigers as well. So 85 wood for Lacaste, 90 wood for Samwise. Relatively equal openings, but the French player will be getting his XP a little bit later. And you see Lacaste already sending his first shipment. But the French player, though, scout out on the map. I feel that the French scout could have picked up these two yaks, though, and stayed in that middle. He's currently on Lacaste's side of the map, and he has to babysit this yak all the way home, and pretty awkward when you have a 5.5 scout. This yak really needs to be deleted, I'd suggest. Lacaste's scouting the remaining big wood treasure, 85 wood, and quite often we do see the 3 high tier wood treasures. Sometimes it's just a 2, and even picking up that lone yak. Samwise was trying to retreat back to the base, so now that he knows where the German explorer is, this yak is slightly safer to be sent back. And the scout has got eyes on this wood treasure, so Samwise coming in, and we're going to be seeing a treasure contention. No, we're not, because Lacaste has saved up his crack shots for a good time, and he's going to move in and pick up 85 wood here. Three settler wagons coming at 2 minutes 10. Samwise, 3 CDBs coming at 2 minutes 22. So these settler wagons on the field about 10 seconds before his French counterparts. So that's the benefit of that early XP pass, and that is provided him some extra food. Did decide to eat 1 yak though, and quite a lot of villagers on that yak. Maybe not an efficient way of gathering it, because all of those transition from one task to another. And actually maybe running out of hunting base, not seeing this Marco Polo sheep underneath the town centre. Lacaste herding in his nearby hunts. He has eyes on... I don't think Lacaste scouted this hunt. Remember, this is the French scouting down here. I don't think Lacaste sees this. He sees where his nearby hunt is, and his hunt near the trading route, and hunts in the middle of the map. But he hasn't got eyes on this one. I guess he can assume it, but... when I said that he's missing 1 hunt, he might be just assuming that there's no hunt down here and 1 hunt down in the corner for Samwise. Samwise deck 1,000 food in age 3, and I've seen quite a lot of players including 1,000 food in their deck. I've seen Giving Anxiety include 1,000 food in his Indian deck before, but I'm just unsure the effectiveness of 1,000 food shipment in age 3. It just feels really awkward to send it. Like, you're not going to send 1,000 food first card, are you? And if you're going for a fast industrial, 1,000 coin is much, much better, because chances are you're having steel traps anyway, which makes this 1,000 food shipment really not great. Double Skirm, Cuirassier, Dragoon, no skirmish, no mercenaries available for Samwise. Could have had the 10 Jaegers in his deck for 1,000 gold. Lacaste having 12 Jaegers for 1,000 gold due to the German bonus, but 2 Jaegers, I don't think it's the biggest difference. And actually, if you're going with a skirmisher Civ, Jaegers make sense here. I can understand if you're playing Brit, Jaegers feel out of place, but then actually it fulfills a very important role of part of the army which the British player doesn't have real access to. So interesting deck choices from both players here. Same deck as last game actually from Lacaste. Standard deck as you get. No multiple shipments in age 4, and has lots of shipments in age 2, shall I say, but no Guard Hussars and no 6 settler wagons. 2 Uhlans moving for a raid. Can these villas get pulled back in time? Yes, they do. And a 4 batch of Hussars get made. Lots of yaks nearby as well. That is the benefit of having that extra scouting unit on this map. And that's why the French versus German matchup on this map is more even than you'd expect. 8 yaks available for Samwise, 3 being picked up for Lacaste. Both players sending villager shipments and then going for 700 wood and a big Uhlan mass pushing in. Samwise needs to actually get some of his villagers back. He may lose one here. Trying to pull some vills. One vill going down. Nice pick up there from Le Casse-Tête. And Samwise actually needs to kind of continue training Ulan's here. Not Ulan's, Hussars here. Or actually go for a Minutemen. But yes, another batch of Hussars. And if Hussars can snare this is going to be a big pickup. He's going to move in actually. Le Casse-Tête's going to back away. He's going to try and engage that. I don't know why Samwise backed off there a second time. He wants to take this fight. This is a good fight for Samwise here. Try and deny some of these Ulans. You're near by a town centre. Minutemen can be called. Get this snare off. Call Minutemen and fight it. Reinforcement Ulans from Le Casse-Tête, but you've lost one house. You lost one ville. This feels like Le Casse-Tête is really putting the pressure onto Samwise here. I think Sam missed his window then at that point. Pikeman being trained up, 700 gold coming behind us. I think both players are looking to age up behind us, but you cannot allow this Ulan mass to become veterancy in the third age and then cav combat from Samwise's point of view. And Le Casse-Tête's just bullying Samwise now, waiting for a Pikeman batch. No Minutemen being called just yet. And is the snare going to come down? I think he's trying to be backing off, and then when Sam gets to the third age, he kind of feels like he ought to now go into vet Hussars or get that veterancy done. So he got 8 Hussars, and veterancy for 8 units costing 200 resources is probably worth it. 2 Ulan raids coming from the Casse-Tête. He's been very good at raiding, and Samwise is now pushing out with his Hussars and Pikemen afterwards. He could try and pull the Pikemen along. Looks like Hussars are leading the charge a bit too fast at the moment. He's had to back away from the silver mine and go for his safe defensive coin mine. And going for a 600 coin as well. The Casse-Tête's nearly up, but Samwise has been investing into more cavalry and moving in with 15 Huss on top of into the Casse-Tête's base. And the Casse-Tête can defend with TC fire, Minutemen, Ulans, soon to be veterancy upgraded. Veterancy upgrade straight coming very, very soon. And those Ulans from the Casse-Tête just waiting on that hunt to the far south. Right, Pikeman coming in to try and assist these Hussars. Will pick off one villager, but one villager is really insignificant compared to what he could have lost. Ulans trying to chase these Hussars, trying to chase these Ulans to the north, but it's actually going to back out, and even a batch of musketeers. Really not sure about that musketeer batch there. Another 2 Ulans chasing down. Deciding to run away. I think that's good. It would have been really nice if actually German player could pick up this cavalry speed upgrade. 5%, and 5% on 6.75 is certainly significant. And you could have Ulans maybe catching up to Dragoons. Right, Samwise, third age, but engaging with Colonial Hussars. Is that veterancy being researched? No, it's not. Musketeers, hand combat, a few pikemen, but when you have war wagons out in the field versus Colonial Hussars, this is easy pickings. And those war wagons 4-shot a Hussar and taking one of these units down to about 17 HP. This is a great fight for Le Casse-Tête at the moment. Samwise really needs do something to defend him. Minutemen, he needs these Minutemen to try and get some sort of advantage here, but all these Hussars going down, skirmishers coming out, Minutemen coming out, Colonial Hussars all going down, 3 Dragoons. Even still, Le Casse-Tête's army is going to trade reasonably well here, I think. And just has that momentum moving forwards. 4 reinforcing war wagons just deals with what's coming out here. 5 Dragoons, nice shot coming up from Samwise. Okay, snare coming from Samwise here. That's pretty decent. All those war wagons trying to turn on Kite, and all those war wagons focusing down at a single pikeman. Not the most efficient use. All in all, though, actually, the score was looking even. It's close. I think Le Casse-Tête actually may have lost a little bit more than he had wanted to there, but did pick up most of Samwise's units. Samwise getting good value out of that Minutemen pop. 14 Uhlans, 1 Warwagon going down, but you know, Samwise losing 5 Pike, 4 Musk, 13 Hussars. Nah, it's looking good for the Castettes, and you can tell that score's bounced back up after that 8 Skirmisher and a few unit pops. Kaiserklein saying that the colonial units here is going to hurt Samwise, and I'm in full agreement. The 5 pikemen were a nice idea if you only stayed on 10 Huss, but going 15 Huss, I mean the 5 pikes and 5 musks just delayed that age up, having to send 700 coin, 600 coin to get that age up in queue, really. Lots of players in the chat cheering Castette on, and we do like when series are points shared between the two players instead of 5-0s, and the Castette is showing why he's a brigadier and why he's a player to be feared, showing Samwise how not to play the French Civ, and you know, Sam's very famous for his French player style back in the olden days. Here comes the REGG shipment, 9 Uhlans coming in. Le Castette not going for any mercenary play this game. With 2 in-base coin mines, I feel that getting 1,000 coin is achievable, but another batch of 5 Uhlans being trained, 9 Uhlans shipped, so that's plus 14 Uhlans in a click of a finger, and has got the massive military advantage over the French player, and you can just see he's just going to start pushing in. He knows roughly where the French players gathered, even sent in 2 Uhlans down the beach line to come in for a cheeky raid to the south side. Really good control there. And now he wants to engage because he knows he's raiding. Can Samwise fight this and defend the raid? Obviously he doesn't want to fight this, but he's been distracted, and more villagers going down. That's the second vill in this raid coming. The third vill is coming down behind this. 3 vills lost in this raid. The 4th is being picked up, and it will take a while for that to happen. You know, these are veteran Uhlans. These are 6 shots in the CDB, and this raid has picked up 5 villages. What a great raid here from Castette. And as you can see, he's happy with what he's done. He's just moving back. He's waiting for cavalry combat to come in behind this. Le Castette playing this by the book, and if you wanted to find out how you wanted to play this matchup, just look at what Le Castette's been doing so far. It's been really good play. Eva now moving his way onto the gold mine to the north side. Still only has placer mines, no amalgamation. Amalgamation might be quite nice on this map with gold mines present. Surely he's waiting for Cav combat. I mean, I don't think he had enough coin for Jaegers or Black Riders, but Cav combat at this point. 8 Uhlans, not a great shipment at this point in terms of cost and what you really need at this moment. That Cav combat would be huge, and you can just tell he's waiting for that improvement, because that improvement just boosts all those units. And let's look at the military unit graph. 31 Uhlans and 6 war wagons. Samwise making the most out of this downtime, picking up a 5% cav speed. Curious says 6.5, Dragoons 7.6. These guys are very fast now, and 7.6 Dragoons, much faster than veteran Uhlans 6.7, and you could effectively kite these Uhlans for days, and certainly can kite skirmishers. Obviously skirmishers having longer range. War wagons 6 speed, Dragoons. He's going to go straight in for this. I think he saw the skirmishers and wants to commit, but actually I'm not too sure. There's not too many war wagons on the field for Le Castette. I need to train another couple here and there, but mainly focus on veteran Uhlans. But he's not engaged in the Uhlans just yet. He's just trying to thin out that Dragoon count from Samwise first. But that speed increase could even just help the ability for the veteran Crusaders to commit into the fight and slam in. Okay, looks like it's going to happen, and all those Uhlans on top of that skirmishers. Q says having to try and body block here, but not enough Dragoons to fend off these Uhlans. And this is the power of the Uhlans slamming into the army. Tet has picked up a victory for the CMCs. Let's go to Castet in the chat. Right, villager population. You'll see how one Vil went down early on from Samwise. So Le Castet very happy with that initial push, getting a much faster age up. Age up about 8 minutes 30, while Samwise was up a whole minute later. And in that time, a military shipment had arrived for the German player at 5 CDB raid later on, while Samwise was distracted with that skirmisher prodding from Le Castet. So making good use of that multitasking. We saw that feature a lot in the last game on Kamchatka. All resources, Samwise slightly favoured, but he did send that extra crate card in the second age. As you see, he went 600 coin additional. Ecos were relatively even at that point because of the 3 settler wagon shipment is very strong for the German player. Le Castet slightly bailed up from that push in the Ulan, so that kind of sets him behind a little bit, but did pick up quite a few units at that point. But also Samwise, remember, he has lots of these resources, but lots of these resources were invested into Colonial Hussars, Pikemen, and Musketeers, which is not what you want, and that's probably why his Dragoon count in the third age was lesser than to be expected. And final military population, 35 military population from a French player. Not what you'd usually expect. So that was 15 Huss 5 pikes, or maybe like 13 Huss 4 Musk 5 pike. But losing lots of these units as Lacazette, or Lacazette as I like to call him, pushed in with that war wagon shipment and Uhlans, and good decent trade. I mean, upon reflection, it probably wasn't the greatest, but did force Minutemen, force idle time, force distraction, but then afterwards was able to remass and able to send 4 Fortress shipments compared to Samwise's 3, but most importantly, getting that cav combat in. Veteran Uhlans, 243 HP, 49 hand attack, and we got this many Uhlans. I think also lots of Uhlans survived during that age too, and so when he did push in with Veteran Uhlan into Samwise's base, he took a decent trade because he had strong units and was very good in getting that veteran upgrade nice and early. Final map is Bering Strait. There's claims of stream sniper in the chat. Probably a meme. No idea what this is for. Maybe Castet is stream sniping the analysis that I'm providing. Oh, there you go, Castet AoE3. Finally a game where I can play decently. So he hops in to soak up the applause from Keeler Kreitz, Sir Callan, and Cammy Rue making that allegation of stream snipe. So please take a screenshot, post it to Eagle Mutt with your evidence, and maybe we'll be seeing a ban coming very, very soon.
Yes.
Well, hi, 1 month subscriber. Come on. Oh, that's copy and pasting. Everyone's copy and pasting each other's copy and paste, and I'm just seeing like lines of text saying 6 month subscriber, 6 month badge, Twitch Prime, well hi, 1 month subscriber. Stop with the copy and pasting, please. If you haven't got anything useful to add, don't add it. Can we expect better things? Jazz saying I'm tagged. I'm triggered more like. Ooh, the Castet's playing Dutch. I like the Dutch Civ. Brownboy, can you time out the next person who copies and pastes that? And just kind of like get to a point. Oh, finally, the room's now in only mode. Actually, that would do. Mr. Brownboy going, ha ha, look at me.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay, I'm absolutely AFK. I was looking at my phone then. Good luck, have fun for the final game.
Yes. Yes.
Japan versus Dutch on Bering Strait. Can be rude. Do we have a Harrison emote yet? Maybe I'll take a picture. I've got a webcam on the way, but webcams are very hard to come by at the moment, so should be with me very soon, but not just yet. Right, welcome back, guys. Final game. Let's play all its 5 series between Le Casse-Tête and Samwise. Samwise currently leading 3-1 in this series. However, Le Casse-Tête did pick up the last game. Le Casse-Tête represents in the CMCs. Samwise playing for the bigs. And the final game will be on Bering Strait, where we see a Japan versus Dutch gameplay. Samwise playing as the Japan, countering Le Casse-Tête's Dutch pick on this map. I don't think there's ever a bad map for Dutch to be played, really, apart from maybe super high TP maps, where it gets a bit awkward to try and kind of fight the control. But Bering Strait, no TP mess in here, only safe TPs in each player's base. So both players maybe looking to go one apiece or ignore the trading route because they have other things to focus their resources on. Le Casse, they're already picking up a 95 wood treasure from Jan to Reiter. Very nice. Orchard Rickshaw, a little bit far from home, and I like this Orchard Rickshaw just to kind of really stay at home and scout to the side and scout extra resources and come back. Could get caught out by the envoy Orchard Rickshaw and a possible Duba coming up. Samwise has got a Duba. Samwise has got a second Duba, so Samwise, the Duba tame master here. And Duba is going to absolutely wreck this Envoy. Envoy's not fighting Duba. The Envoy could win, but it's deciding to not. And at this point now, he's overcommitted, and okay, not overcommitted. He can't turn and fight now, and that Envoy's going to go down. And Samwise is picking up some nice treasures, picking up the extra scouting unit, and getting the shrine down in the mid map. Good stuff here from Samwise so far. Early shrine coming down from Samwise as well. Not looking for the consulates build today from Samwise, and maybe the first shipment from Samwise, maybe 2 Vils or 300 wood instead of Hemley Camo. It's interesting to see the Japan players having all 3 of these cards at H1 just to kind of hide information from their opponent or what they want to do for the first H shipment. Alright, Duba's nearby, as well as both of the explorers to stun these 2 tigers, and this should be a nice, easy pickup here from Samwise. Second stun coming out, and there you go. Both the Dubas are taking those tigers. A nice, gonna be a nice 85 wood treasure pickup, and perfect timing as well, because Le Casse-Tête's nearby, so 2 Dubas, 2 explorers. This explorer is going to get absolutely shreked at this point, and he's trying his best to run away, but Duba with 5.00 speed. Japan explorers kind of going in a kind of in a different motion to cut off the Dutch explorer. It is definitely the correct play from Samwise to try and focus this explorer down, really, just because it just helps that scouting. And I don't know, Samwise wanted to go for something aggressive, but Heavenly Kami, first card to Sugar Shrine going down. Looks like Samwise is going to go for an eco style. And a third Duba from Samwise, the Duba. Let's get the Duba hype coming in the chat. Only 1 Duba from Le Casse-Tête, and I know that when you design a map, you pick a treasure set, and you can't really have control over what treasures spawn. But 4 separate Duba treasures. This is funny stuff coming out. These Dubas are decent at picking up Explorer, but actually, as the game goes on, they're not really useful. Only 1 damage per swing versus villagers due to that negative multiplier, and maybe enough to pick up half a Hussar, but that's probably about as much as you can hope for. Both explorers, though, building shrines together. Not the biggest fan of that, but looks like he's working on this 80 coin, and he doesn't have enough resources at that point to go for another shrine. So maybe once this tiger's good at them, they'll go in different directions and start shrining the map. Right, Le Casse-Tête up to the next age. Has the bank down. Doesn't have a villain queue just yet, so idle TC for a little bit. Only getting that first villager now. Wood crates being gathered up underneath the town centre, and gathering up the wood with 2 villagers, which is absolutely fine because it looks like that food and wood count is increasing at the same time, and hopefully Le Casse-Tête will soon have enough food for a second bank as well. Samwise shrine in the southern side. All of his shrines are in nearby similar locations, and maybe one of these explorers will want to actually poof back to the town centre and go to the north side and let the other explorer help shrine these shrines. But Samwise is just going full eco behind this, and so does the Dutch player. This matchup does feel that it's either Japan going for a really aggressive playstyle to catch Dutch player out, or it's going to be a 5 Dutch semi-F for the 5 bank semi-FF and Dutch full shrines from the Japan player. 600 wood was the first card from Samwise, and probably 600 wood 4-vil, I expect. Right, where's that food count from Le Casse-Tête? It's got 320, so nearly enough food for another bank. Market going down, bank going down. Bank will provide another shipment. Another shipment's on the way for Le Casse-Tête. Barracks and a house, and then it should be a bank wagon coming in. And this is just a standard build from the Dutch, and this is a very nice build if anybody wants to learn a build. This 600 would start. Ooh, interesting. Not as much of a fan of 600 wood. That bank wagon, once you send it and builds it, the bank builds quite fast, and then you get your shipment XP, and you send another shipment straight afterwards. And that's why that bank wagon shipment is actually very strong. Market coming down. First tier food, first tier civil, all resources, and the first tier coin. So market being researched. Consulate finally coming down. Still no barracks from Samwise, and this is a no rush 10 build from both players. I think that musketeer has died in the middle of the town centre, and hopefully that doesn't cause these 2 villagers to idle. And he's seen that. Cool. If he didn't realise that, I may have commented saying that there's bugs just to help him out, because that shouldn't happen. But Le Casse-Tête should have eyes on all parts of his eco, and you do see that he did scout that out himself and change his mind, but that may cause some vills to idle later on. Right, 5 pikes out on the floor for shrines, but that's why he went for that 600 wood shipment. But the 600 wood has now been invested into another bank, but that's what that bank shipment could have done before. Maybe the bank shipment's on the way now for Le Casse-Tête, so yes, that's 600 wood first to get that early 5 pikes, but 200 wood for the barracks, 200 wood for the pikemen, and you've only just now killed 1 shrine, which is costing, well, not a lot. Just heavenly camo. And Dubas with their 7 hand attack actually could take on these pikemen quite well. Explorer nearby, and a few Shinobi no Monos coming in to help out as well. Looking at Le Casse-Tête's villagers. So with the 600 woods, instead of going for the barracks and pikemen, you could have just gone for steel traps, place mine straight away, and gone for a much earlier age up. So you've only killed off 1 shrine at the expense of 400 wood worth of investment so far at this stage of the game. And this is why it feels so awkward trying to siege Japan's shrines, and I guess at this point just go Fortress Age and mass pure skirm and hussar from the Casse-Tête. Look at Samwise map vision from all these shrines. So nice, and all these shrines have got many animals on them. Okay, these 2 shrines having 2 each, but he's done a lot of shrining where most of these are fully staffed animals. A couple of animals still waiting to join this shrine as well, and I think this shrine's got a space or 2 as well, so that eco can only set to increase a little bit. At the moment, I like Samwise's position just that slightly better due to Lecastet's earlier pikeman play. But now that Lecastet's into next stage, 1,000 wood should be that first shipment coming from Lecastet, and that will be able to fund double stable, another barracks, veteran hussar upgrade, and then more houses. Will probably want to get himself the gangster upgrade and chop a bit more wood, because in this kind of game you just want those upgrades rolling in. We're talking arsenal, cavalry criers, maybe counter infantry rifling. I think Samwise wants to go Yumi and Nagi here instead of Yumi Ashi or Ashi Nagi. So we do see a couple of Yumi archers on the field. Disciplines Yumi's coming out as well. No Ashi Gary has been trained just yet. Diaruga suggesting this matchup is Dutch favoured. I think it's very balanced. I think both civs have a very strong eco in the Fortress Age, and they both do very well. But once you're Japan and having Daimyo supports, Nagi HP card being sent in, Way of the Bow, it feels that this is in Japan's favour, and even now pushing out. Disciplined Yumi is engaged in this skirmisher mass. Only a couple Nagi Natas out, and those stables being built on that 1,000 wood. There are no raiders out in the field at the moment, even having to call Minutemen to try and defend this. And these are disciplined Nagis on top of skirmishers. A couple of vills going down as well, and this has been a nice pickup so far for Samwise. And really pushing in actually quite fast. I think he's aware that the 1,000 wood's coming from Lecastet, and Lecastet's slightly weak here. 5 veteran hussars come up, so veteran hussars research straight away. These Yumis probably need to stay and fight, and if you keep on kiting, you just want to keep on getting hit. I guess you're trying to get out of the way of the skirmishers, but you're snared, and Yumis are pretty decent anti-cavalry in their own respect. What's he running towards? Running towards more Yumis. Notice how Samwise went into Shinobi no Monos for those pikemen instead of Konshan Yumibushis. Even those clubmen would have taken down those pikemen in Age 2, and those clubmen would have saved Samwise from that 5 Huss, and that 5 Huss shipment has worked so many wonders. Again, more Hussars coming in, and like I called it, it's going to be Hussar Skirmisher from the Dutch player, Yumi Nagi from the Japan player. Does the Japan player even think about going to Yabusams? Probably not, and probably wants to get more clubmen. Could even send Intervention as next card to get a mass of those Konsha Yamabushis. Coin mine run out for Samwise, but luckily this map always spawns 3 silver mines to the south and then 1 gold mine on the far edge of the map in neutral territory for both players. Right, a few Reuters out on the field for Dutch. Send in a 9 Reuter card, and it's a decent card. Most of its coin resources, and the fact that usually you only have 1 stable, so it's very nice because you can only pump out 5 Reuters at a time. But send in 9 Reuters, double pumping Hussars here. That 9 Reuter, I feel Cav Combat already would have been a better choice than 9 Reuters, but 9 Reuters also equally nice for dealing with these disciplined Nagis. But Nagis though, very tanky cavalry, 360 HP, 30 range resist. Reuters probably scratch this, but there's nothing really here from Japan to deal with these Hussars. Nagi Nata's not the greatest counter versus Hussars. It looks like these Yumis focusing down these Hussars with the Nagis, and Hussars getting a decent trade, but it's just the skirmishers in the background. At the moment, the skirmishers are not really doing too much versus the Japan army, where the Yumis are doing better. And even trade, actually. I think Samwise got lucky there, because Lecastet slammed in lots of Hussars. Two cherries, the next shipment coming in behind from Samwise. He's starting to run low on cherry orchards and only had 1,000 food remaining, so yeah, I guess good choice for Sam to go cherries. Just imagine though, if Intervention had came out at that point, probably would have been a little bit too late, but maybe 8 Conchas, I think it is. It's enough of those clubmen coming out. Oh, Skirmishers are moving out of position, and they're going to get picked off by his Naginators, and should pick off about 5 before retreating. It's also enforcing an engagement, and only a few Reuters here, but again, Yumi Archers engaging the Hussars, doing quite well, and there's the clubmen. Finally, a few clubmen on the field. These clubmen very strong versus Hussars, and even 1 or 2 is just enough to Shrek these guys. Look at this. 12 times by 5, that's so disgustingly strong, and I wish this was like 12 times by 4, because for units which are essentially free because they come from your consulate exports, are incredibly strong. Even having a range resist, these guys are the definition of broken units. One clubman going to take on this entire Huss mass himself. Not today, looks like. But more Huss masses from Le Casse-Tête. He's double pumping Hussars, and so he should be. Most of his vills on food anyway. Is a couple of vills on coin behind, but it's the banks really funding that coin production. Does have the steel traps behind, so that food income's very nice. And looks like Samwise may need to change something different. He's seen this large mass of Hussars. He's noticed that Le Casse-Tête's skirm counts looking pretty poor. And if you look at Le Casse-Tête's Huss stats, only veteran Hussars, no cav combat, but with the amount of shrines on the field from Samwise, he should be able to have a good eye on when that cav combat comes in for Le Casse-Tête. Seven skirms. Not a fan of 7 skirms here, not at all, I must say so. Even 1,000 coin would be nicer at this point, but 7 skirms, really not feeling that. A lot of players actually do send 8 skirms, 7 skirms to try and get their mass going, but cav combat would be the order of the day, especially with this amount of Hussars, and you're probably training even more Hussars with that food count. And looking at units in queue, no units, because we do see another full batch of 10 Hussars coming across the map, and those 7 skirms are feeling very underwhelming compared to cav combat at this point. A few disciplined Ashes coming up now, the Sentry as well, the units in queue. Now it's Ashy Nagi. Looks like Samwise has realised that the Yumi Archer mass is not what he wants versus this pure kind of this cavalry heavy competition from the Dutch. And these few Ashy Garras, very nice. We'll get a bit sniped off by a few skirmishers, but Nagi's engaging. Nagi's really need to wait for the rest of the infantry army to engage first, and I feel that Naginata's joining with the rest of the army, really nice to go. So Nagi's engaging with the skirmishers. Only 5 on the skirmishers, don't need too much, but the rest of these Nagis are engaging, keeping these Hussars nearby. So that's the Ashy Garras and Yumi fight, but there's not many hand infantry units here. Couple pikemen with 1 HP in cover mode. Why are sentries in cover mode? And these Ashes out of the way, and this is a really good fight for the Dutch. There's not many hand infantry dealing with these Hussars, just these Ashy Garras in range attack, which are doing decent damage, but not doing the greatest amount of damage to these veteran Hussars with high HP and range resist. And again, it looks relatively even. It's military population's equal, and I think Le Casse-Tête could have cleaned up there with that cav combat instead of 7 skirm. Again, 6 Hussars in queue. Cav combat is not just for the army you have now, it's for the army you continue to train afterwards, and you don't need the biggest mass to make cav combat worth it because it pays off continuously. But those 7 skirms, they're dead. 5 reinforcing skirms, 5 remain from that battle, and now with a large mass of Hussars and Reuters pushing in onto this Yumi heavy composition here. Okay, now it's more Ashy Garras. I guess now, because there's not too many Reuters on the field, Ashy Garras feel quite safe. Nagi's engaging as well. A few of these Ashy Garras in hand combats. We have close combat coming in for the Ashy Garras as well. So these guys, 4.5 multipliers versus Hussars. These Hussars are getting torn down, and this is a great engagement here for Samwise in the final game. At this point, I'm kind of feeling Samwise is he's seeing what's working, what's not working, and he probably wants to go to pure infantry at this point, and maybe keep his Nagis in reserve. We have a couple of Reuters chasing these guys away, but actually Ashy Garras, 4.5 speed, chasing down Le Casse-Tête's villagers. No great coats, but these Ashes are very strong anyway, so multiple vills likely to go down here. Only one, I think think Samwise could have forced that a little bit more. He does have that military advantage at the moment, but maybe he's just waiting for reinforcements. It could send a daimyo at this point. Doesn't have a daimyo in the third age, but still has the daimyo Motodada, which buffs your unit's attack. So could be a tactical card to send even at this point in the game. We do see Nagi HP came in quite a while back, so that's why Samwise continued that Nagi production for a little bit longer than I thought it would be. But yeah, 450 HP Nagis can be increased even higher with the Golden Pavilion going on to HP stat, but the range damage though, buffing both the Yumis and the Ashigarus, could go into hand combat strength as well. You do have a few Clubmen, a few Nagis here, and a couple of these Ashigarus occasionally go into hand combat, but not many Hussars now, and it feels like Le Casse-tête has kind of run out of steam. He's gone through all his nearby hunts. Hunts down to the south are shrined up, and his only food source available is to the north side, and yeah, he's trying to herd this. He's only got a couple of musks nearby, and you see this, both armies are going to be converging towards this one location. This is the time the Casse-tête may need to send something like Hackapels, but Hackapels into late Fortress Age get picked off very, very quickly. Yumi Archers pushing in. These Disciplined Ashes with one card on them. Another Cherry Water ship coming from Samwise, shoring up his eco, and I think it's going to be a great engagement from Samwise coming up here. Now on top of that, coin mining operations from the Dutch. Dutch can't really pull these villas in too well, and these Naginata's just doing so much damage. Lots of villagers nearby the shrine as well. Those Nagis can go off in a different direction if they want to at this point. They're not necessarily needed in this engagement, and just let the infantry do the work and raid this other batch. Reuter's being picked off by reinforcing Yumis as well. But Yumi Archers now destroying this Reuter mass, and Le Casse-tête is going for the GG, and GG has been called. And well played for both players. Really good series, really close series actually in terms of the gameplay. You can tell both players are in form, both are at Brigadier level, but a few minor mistakes in most games. And I think we have a very good opportunity for both players to review and assess what went wrong, what went better, and in this game in particular, Le Casse-tête going for Reuter Hussar. Great idea, really enjoyed that, especially into the early Yumi Archers Nagis, which Samwise has, but that Cav combat, very important. That came in so late, and 9 Reuters, I understand why 9 Reuters came in. I'm not complaining about that, because 9 Reuters popped and so did another 10 Hussars at that point, but 8 Skirm, 7 Skirm, didn't feel like these guys contributed too much to the fight at that point, and then Cav combat, infantry combat came in the last minute, but not much infantry on the field remaining at that point. Well, let's go to look at Cassette gone. Quite tough, actually. 3 Hussars would be a bit of a desperate shipment at point. 1,000 coin. 1,000 coin would be very nice, but I suppose he needed the food, not the coin, actually. I guess that's just what happens when you go double pump Hussars for 5 minutes. I think Le Casse-tête must have produced about 60 to 70 Hussars that game, and that just cost so much food. Well, Samwise taking a 4-1 victory over Le Casse-tête.